What is the history of refrigerants in cooling systems? Imagine a world without air conditioning or refrigeration. It might seem hard to believe, but the story of how we keep things cool is full of interesting twists. It all started in the early 1800s when Oliver Evans described a way to use vapor compression to cool things down. He suggested using diethyl ether, a flammable liquid, as the refrigerant. Then in 1834, Jacob Perkins built the first working vapor compression system using ether. This was the first real step toward modern refrigeration. Early refrigerants included substances like ammonia, sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, methyl chloride, and hydrocarbons such as propane and isobutane. These fluids worked well but had safety issues. Some were toxic, others flammable, which limited their use mostly to factories and large-scale systems. By the late 1800s, ammonia became popular because it was very efficient, even though it was toxic. As electric motors became smaller and more affordable in the early 1900s, refrigerators for homes and air conditioners for buildings appeared. But the early refrigerants still had problems like bad smells, toxicity, or flammability. Then in the 1920s and 1930s, scientists created chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs. These chemicals were safe to handle because they did not catch fire and were less toxic. They made refrigeration and air conditioning safer and more common in homes and businesses. For about 60 years, CFCs were the main refrigerants used worldwide. However, scientists found that CFCs damaged the ozone layer, which protects us from harmful ultraviolet rays. This discovery led to the Montreal Protocol in the 1990s, an international agreement to phase out CFCs. After that, hydrofluorocarbons, or HFCs, became the main alternative. HFCs do not harm the ozone layer but contribute to global warming. Because of this, researchers have been working on new refrigerants that are safer for the environment. Today, natural refrigerants like ammonia, carbon dioxide, and hydrocarbons are gaining popularity. They are safer, more efficient, and have less impact on the climate. In HVAC systems, refrigerants cycle between liquid and vapor states. This cycle absorbs heat from inside a building and releases it outside, creating the cooling effect we're relying on. The history of refrigerants shows how engineering and science have worked together to improve safety, efficiency, and environmental care in cooling systems.